Episode 5 Snow Cones and Tattoos. In this one, we talk about our favorite parenting moments of the week, our dating season, and what that was like for us, and what tattoo would you get in 2020? Head over to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube and follow us at Confessions of Us Podcast. This is John.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Confessions of Us. Wow. We made it. We're back.
We made it.
Episode 5.
Yes.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be great.
I mean, they're all good. But this one is going to be funny.
Yeah.
Because we got
some stories.
maybe we just think we're funnier than we actually are.
That's very possible.
Yeah. Story of our lives right there, right, people? You always think you're funnier or cooler than you really are.
Yeah.
We still got young kids, so they can't tell us how uncool we are yet.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely happens I feel like as you get older, you think you're funnier than you really are.
Oh, yeah.
You think?
Oh, totally. I mean, dad jokes are a thing, right?
Yeah.
You think you're hilarious as a dad.
Yeah.
And your kids are like, man, you're so lame.
Well, right now, Siobhan thinks you're the greatest.
I know, right?
Mhm.
I wonder when that wears off.
Hopefully never.
Well, one can only hope, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, it's a good ego boost, but no one else thinks I'm as cool as she is. Speaking of our children,
Yeah.
I think we should open with you've coined this term very well. Parenting moment of the week, or the past 2 weeks, I should say.
Yeah. It's a thing though. When you have young kids, you have multiple moments that you can use as, what's the word? Just like stuff for your show.
Fodder
No.
for
not-
real life. And then everybody's got a show. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, John, so why don't you share?
Oh, you want me to go first?
You go first. Let me hear.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you wanted to go first.
Nope.
No? Okay. I would say that my parenting moment of the past couple weeks was when I was changing Annalise. This was, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Who knows? And she loves, as soon as you take her diaper off, she loves to pee. So we have this funny setup in our house where our girls share the same room.
Yeah.
But since one is kind of at that stage of crying and all that kind of stuff, right? We take her out of the room, change her feeder, do all that kind of stuff so we don't wake up Siobhan. Because everybody knows like a cranky toddler is the worst. She's really starting to hit her strides with that, people. It's awesome. Anyways, so I took her out and we lay down a blanket. So because she has peed several times and once or twice, maybe onto our couch.
I'm gonna say she does not do that with me.
Dude,
I don't think she has ever actually done that with
me. She does
me.
it all the time with me. I don't
It's
know what it
really
is.
funny.
Maybe it's me. She's like, whatever, Dad.
Go ahead, John. Let's hear it.
I change her, right? And, I try to do this quick thing where, you take one diaper off and you slide one under real quick or whatever. Maybe I was a second too late because I felt down and, I like you remember as it goes on and just makes the story worse and you don't want to tell anybody. So she's eating. She's on the couch.
Yes.
And I threw a bunch of pillows on the side of the couch because I had to run in and grab a new onesie because I felt that she was wet. I was like, she peed when I was trying to change the diaper or whatever. The story's not making a whole lot of sense, but it will. So I ran in real fast to the room. Okay, don't judge me, people. If you have kids, you know you've done this. So I ran and I grabbed the onesie, came back out, and
The room isn't that. Our house is not very big.
it's not like a 4-story house or anything.
Yeah.
But she must have peed more because part of the blanket was like over the couch and it was draped onto the pillows. When I come back, she had peed everywhere. It was all over the blankets, all over the pillows that I
So
laid to
gross.
protect our child.
So gross.
And I had to change everything. And you just ball up the blanket, you ball up everything, and you just throw it in the corner. You're like, I'll deal with it in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and then I have no shirt on because I'm in, it's 4 a.m. and I'm changing her. And she's done with her bottle and everything. So I finally get her changed. She's pissed off at the world. Get her changed, and I'm burping her, and she pukes all over my chest. I was like, of course. Like,
Oh my gosh.
why would you not do this right now?
Yeah.
So,
That's
anyways,
so funny.
that was my parenting fail
Moment
of the week.
of the week. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Oh geez. Okay, so mine actually, I've kind of two. One was the other day. Siobhan, I put Siobhan down for a nap. Well, she sometimes will not nap and just destroys her room. And I am in my room, which is right next to hers, and she is pushing books underneath the door. I mean, there's like a whole pile of
Yeah,
books
she is.
right in front of her door. And I'm like, what
She
is she
got so many out there. I was impressed.
I'm like, what is she trying to tell me here? That I need to read more books or what? And so anyways, that was like the other day. And then today I'm outside gardening, doing some stuff, throwing some stuff away, and I see my daughter. She's taking handfuls of dirt and stuffing them in her diaper. As I had not seen her do that before.
Of course.
So then I have to change her diaper before we go on a walk.
There's just a bunch of dirt everywhere.
There's dirt everywhere. And
She's got dirty pants.
like, oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
So it was, I mean, I didn't fail at anything.
Oh, you didn't? Her shoving dirt in her diaper is not a fail. So
that was her choice.
Oh gosh, it was her choice. You're old enough to make choices about shoving dirt in your diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some great parenting moments of the week. Yay for like young children.
Yeah.
So our main topic. What's our main topic, Lindsay?
Dating. Our dating season.
Oh. Dating. Yeah. So we're going to chat about what our dating season was like. I mean, I don't know if I would say it was unique necessarily, but I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say it was, unique to us.
Sure. No one else married us.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed it. We met on a dating site.
Yeah. You can listen to another episode if you want more details. But yeah, met on a dating site, saw each other at church. I didn't introduce myself.
Yeah, he was I don't know who he was at that moment,
I was a punk.
but I was
a punk.
He was a punk.
That's messed up. Why would you say that about me? And then so we started dating. First date, we got snow cones.
We did.
That was a good date.
I will say this about him. He told me, "Oh, we're just,
Oh, you're just gonna dive right into it."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, he told me that he was not going to pay for our first date because we were just getting to know each other, and I'm just like, well, okay. And then
maybe that should have been a sign.
We get there and he pays for it, and so I'm just like, that's right, you did.
Is that really what you thought?
Yes, it was what I thought.
Okay, so what would you say that you were looking for in a person to date?
Yeah.
A man.
Well, at that time in my life, I really wasn't looking for anybody. That's the thing, is I had probably gotten out of a relationship maybe less than a year before we started talking on that dating site. And I just was like, maybe I'll just, try this dating website because my friend is. And so I didn't have these big expectations.
Maybe that's why you dated me, because you didn't have too many big expectations.
That is not what it was. I just, kind of went into it just, this will be fun, and not to immediately try and take it too seriously. But I mean, I had my few like top 5 things that I wanted. I knew I wanted. I wanted someone who loved Jesus, someone that was funny and
2 for
sexy.
3 for 3. I think I'm funny.
You are very funny.
Thanks, babe. Appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
Funniest guy I've ever dated.
Oh, watch out. Maybe you haven't dated very many guys. These are very many funny ones.
I mean, yeah, those were other than like, he needs to be sexy and attractive, loves Jesus, is funny, treats me well, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, all the standard stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What were you looking for? when it came to.
I mean, I kind of covered this in another episode, but I was just trying to find someone who did love Jesus. And because it's like, I can go to a bar, I can try and meet somebody, whatever, but I wasn't just trying to hook up with people. So I just didn't feel like that was my scene. Right. So, I remember I had a buddy one time, what they said to me was, I'll never forget this because it's obviously stuck with me, but that the person you date needs to make you better.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was a good,
did I make you better?
You did make me better. And I mean, that was one of the big things of us dating is you called me to a higher standard.
Mhm.
And that wasn't necessarily something that I had, before. I mean, there was talk of it. There was all these random things, but there wasn't, there wasn't
But what does that
actual
look like?
following through.
What did it look like? I called you to a
Oh,
higher
geez.
standard.
Okay. So maybe we went on 2 dates, I think. Two hangouts, if you will.
Okay.
Right? Before you called me to Starbucks.
Oh.
The famous Starbucks conversation.
Yeah, I would say it was more than 2.
No, we had not been hanging out very long. This was pretty early on in our relationship.
Okay.
So this is what happened. So we had been on a few dates, and Lindsay's like, "Hey, I want to meet you at Starbucks. Want to chat or whatever?" I was like, "All right." So we meet at Starbucks, and I think what had caused this is I was like, "I'm not really looking for anything too serious or whatever." Right?
Guys, that's what he says. Yeah, he's like, we used eHarmony, and he's like, I'm just here to make some friends.
No.
Yes, that is what you said.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Hold up. Finish your story.
Okay, so she basically sat me down and she's like, I am not friends with guys.
Yeah, it's true. I was not friends with guys. I stopped doing that.
Yeah. And you were like, we're either dating or we're not. Something to that effect.
Yeah. Like if you really wanted to pursue a relationship with me. Then.
Yeah. She basically gave me the shit to get off the pot speech real early on.
Well, I told him, I was like, you can think about it tonight and let me know tomorrow. And then
I was like, nope, I'm good.
I was thinking about this the other day and thinking the people that were sitting in that Starbucks or could hear our conversation. I'm curious what they were thinking. They're like,
I'm sure people have all sorts of random conversations in Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that was the moment.
Mm.
And I remember you were always like, actions speak louder than words, and just
Is that how I say it?
Yeah,
action speaks louder than words.
Well, you did. You constantly did. You did not like you were demanding, but you knew exactly what you wanted. You weren't afraid to tell me, and I think if I wouldn't have given it to you, you would have cut me loose. So,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I mean, I don't want to say. I just know I was not looking for a girl that I had dated before.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I dated a non-believers. I had dated quote unquote Christian girls. I wanted someone who, because I was in a relationship for like 2.5 years of a girl who didn't believe, and there was always a part of me that I could not share with her.
Yeah.
It was an incomplete relationship.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that again. So that was the thing. I wanted someone who was serious about that because I knew it was going to shape everything.
Well, what I would say is that conversation with you in Starbucks, I had never had a conversation like that with any other guy before. I never called another guy.
Well, it was your sister, right?
Yeah, my sister. I told her what you had told me, that
we were just friends.
Yeah, and my sister was like, you need to tell him, like, you don't just join a dating website just to be friends. You are on there for a reason. And so I was like,
sister's got some wisdom.
I was like, you're right, Jess. Like, I
get it.
You're right. I'm going to talk to him. And so, I mean, sure, I didn't think of it, on my own. I probably eventually would have, but my sister sure.
Yeah, no, it's wisdom. It's wisdom.
Yeah,
it's wisdom.
She fast-tracked that whole.
Okay, so let's talk about a few moments. Let's talk about a few moments that we weren't so proud of during our dating.
Yeah.
And maybe a few moments that we were, or like, just some things that we loved about each other.
Yeah. I think this is good because this will help, hopefully, you guys listening.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully when you listen to us ramble, you get some nuggets. That's
Yeah.
kind of one of the things we
Our
hope for.
Yes.
Or at least
our
some
hope.
cheap entertainment.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want to go first?
Sure. I would definitely say moments that I am not the proudest of. You know, I didn't honor you when it came to like our physical connection.
Mm.
And
This kind of went both ways.
Yeah.
This was a struggle for both of us.
but
It was a back and forth battle.
yeah, I mean, but as a woman, like if I want something, if I want John to make out with me,
Mm.
I'm going to act a certain way.
Mm.
I'm going to dress a certain way. I'm going to say certain things that will, hopefully
So
get him wanting to make out with me. And so, like, I just
Yeah, the
need
giant
to-
mechanical man was not a way to get me to make out with you, by the way. This is a random crappy movie she made me watch one time.
Anyways, so yeah, like I just need to apologize about that to you, because I just was not honoring to you when I would intentionally
Mm.
do certain things knowing that I would get the response that I wanted.
Yeah.
And that wasn't honoring you. That wasn't definitely not honoring myself and
Yeah.
who I was.
Well, it's funny how you do that. You press the boundaries.
Mm.
The physical attraction was obviously a real thing. So
Yes, very,
yes.
very real.
No, I'd say that was one of that. I think that was just the moments for us, right? I think we
Yeah.
equally share those moments that we just weren't pumped on, because I did the same thing. I would press the boundary. It's just and you just gotta take responsibility for the crap that you do. And that was the big thing I think that we did. I think one of the things I really loved about a relationship in general is we knew exactly what we wanted for the most part, not everything, but we knew our end goal.
We did. Yeah.
And I think
would say
that is so important when dating or getting to a relationship. Are you just dating to date, or are you whatever? And we knew our end goal is we were looking for
Yeah.
someone to walk down the aisle with. So,
Mhm.
And then just weeded out a lot of the stuff. It's like, are we on the same page? Are we not?
Yeah.
And then, we dated we didn't get married for a whole year.
Yeah.
So we started dating in like June, and we got married the following June is what happened.
Or was it July?
Well, it was the end of June, early
Okay.
July.
Okay. Yeah.
As our buddy says, we got the 4-season test. It was good. What would you say that something you really loved about our relationship?
Something that I loved about our relationship. I loved that you were very honest with me. Also, as at the beginning, you made a point that you didn't want to waste my time. You didn't want to waste your time, and that you said that at any moment we felt like this just wasn't the right thing, that we would be okay parting ways. Yeah. And that I had never had before. And when you said that, even looking back on it, it just felt so loved through that, because you didn't want to waste my time. You wanted the best for me.
Sure.
Even if that meant you not being with me or us being together.
Yeah, that's unfortunately through a lot of failed relationships. And it's, we were a tiny bit older. We were 30-ish when
30,
we started
31.
dating. But just, you get to a point you don't want to waste time anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is I think that if you have intention in your relationships, you can get to know someone pretty quickly. Not everything, obviously. Sometimes just stuff takes time. But having intention is, for us, it was great. It worked out fantastic. And then, we did premarital counseling, and which was also fantastic, because you get to weed out a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny, like looking back on it, like how much less pressure there is when you're not married. You have the opportunity to walk away. Easily. Obviously, yes, you can get divorced and everything, but but then you have to, file for divorce and split up stuff. But but when you're dating, if you're honest with each other, if you need to walk away, you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was big for us.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Definitely agree with that.
what was your favorite moment? Do you have a favorite moment?
Oh, geez. Favorite moment?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I will say?
Oh.
Is you are not, I would say, the biggest fan of Valentine's Day.
God,
But guys,
hate Valentine's Day.
I
hate it.
am. My parents, my mom would make the biggest deal about those holidays just to celebrate because that was important for her. And so she did that for us. And so I grew up just loving that. And he did not. And he made that very clear to me. However, on Valentine's Day, it was raining, actually. It was raining that day. And he makes this sign.
On Valentine's Day?
Yes. The day that I think the first Valentine's Day.
Well, okay, but that doesn't, okay. So I made a big, go
sign.
ahead, finish your story.
Yeah. So
but how did I make the sign if it was raining?
Well, you were going to stick something on my car.
Oh, it wasn't raining. Okay, yes. It was raining in the beginning of the day is what happened.
Okay. Yes.
So I couldn't do the first thing I wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah. So however, he makes this huge banner and all that I see first is "will you?" and my eyes get really big and I'm like, is he asking me to marry him? And it's about like all of this thought. This Valentine's Day, why is he doing this? And then it says, "Will you be my Valentine?" And he put a little box next to it for me to check.
Oh gosh.
and then it was like it was in the morning. And so he made
breakfast or something.
He made me breakfast. And then he also made me, I don't know if this was the same day, but you also made
dinner.
It was chicken corn on bleu.
No.
Was it the same day?
Or was that marsala? Did I make marsala a different time?
No, I don't know.
Anyways, I made food.
It
may have been a different day. I don't remember.
He's such a big softie.
I'm not a softie. I know what you're talking about.
And definitely felt very appreciated, loved, and cherished, and taken care of.
It's amazing what you can do with some cheap paper and some markers.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. It's true though. It's so funny. I mean, who doesn't appreciate a thoughtful gift, right?
I mean, it wasn't necessarily like it was all your actions though.
See, people.
Men, make your women dinner. You know, if you have kids, get them out of the house, let your wife have some.
Yeah. And that's it. It's funny because it's the whole saying. It's like, of course the saying, I blanked on it. It's late. I'm tired, but I mean, the good things are worth working for.
Yeah.
You know, and
absolutely.
it's so true is obviously in marriage and being a parent and your job, you know, generally if you work hard at those things, you'll have better of those things. So,
yeah.
Okay. So if we were talking to some youngins, some young peeps, what is one piece of advice that you would give them? Just one.
Take your time.
This
Can
is
I have
not
a
going
couple?
to be okay. Okay, fine. You have a couple.
So I would say, just don't rush, for sure. You know, because like John was saying, you don't want to get into a situation where you run the risk of divorce or.
Well, because you can date without rushing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's dating with a purpose or a plan, if you would. So.
Yeah, I would say that, and then also for girls, you know, wanting to date, don't stick so close to your list of requirements in a sense.
Some of those lists I've heard get quite long.
Yeah, they can't. Mine was pretty long when I was younger, but you know, pick things that are truly important. You know, for me, you know, attractiveness and Jesus were very close together. But then,
what if I had long hair?
Oh yeah, okay. No, if you had long hair, we would not.
She did not. I used to have hair like Shaggy.
Yeah, no.
She did not like it. Back in the day, she saw pictures. Every now when she sees pictures, she's like, "Yeah,
I do."
To be found, yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I would say is just, you know, be willing to see beyond, you know, your list.
That's good. Oh yeah, I mean, you just never know. You never know who is going to surprise you for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, I would say this goes both ways. Is and maybe demand isn't the right word, but I will say demand. Demand something, a higher standard from the person that you're dating. Demand something more for yourself.
Ask them to rise to it.
Yes, ask them to rise to, and it's not, I'm not saying do impossible stuff or whatever, but basically set high standards, because the people that really, want it, like I said, we talked about earlier, is like, you did that. And it forced me to put the effort in. Like, if this is really what I want with the person that I want, then I need to show it. And I think that's important. And it goes both ways. That goes for women and men.
Yeah.
Or boys and girls. Is when you do that, you not force, but you want the other person to rise. You want that person to make you better.
Yeah.
And because you don't want to set the bar low. Don't set the bar low.
Yeah.
Because then anybody can just walk in and take up your time. And by learning what your bar is, you learn what you're not willing to put up with and what you are willing to put up with.
Yeah.
So, and you can weed out a lot of stuff, right? And then you don't get into, situations that are bad, like abusive relationships or relationships that go way too long or whatever. And that's obviously easier said than done, but and that's the thing, is like the physical stuff only goes so far. I mean, it's great, obviously. And obviously we believe that, it's better in the context of marriage.
Yeah.
And then that's another show altogether, but it's, the physical stuff only goes so far. You got to, especially we're learning that now with kids and with lives and jobs and everything. It's like, life's busy.
Yeah.
Life is busy. Life doesn't slow down for anybody. I mean, right now we're in the middle of the Rona. And if you're not working together, not dating each other, see, I said only one and I'm like 5 deep. Dating each other, then it's just, the physical stuff is hard in those moments. So yeah. Demand a higher bar.
Yeah.
I just keep saying demand. I don't know if demand's the right word.
Demand's definitely not the right word.
It's a little tough.
Yeah.
It's a little harsh.
It makes it sound like you're yelling at someone.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like, no one wants, I'm not saying be bossy or anything, but just know what those standards are and stick to them, and you want to find someone who's going to respect your standards and rise to them, not who's going to try and break them down.
That's good. Absolutely.
That's good. Let's end on that. End on that. So,
good.
Okay. So we have a very random question, which we like to end on. We like to end on a bit of randomness.
We do.
It is so fast how the time flies by.
Yeah. It goes, you start getting into a groove.
Yeah. You start rambling.
Yeah.
And you ramble on. Okay. So I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
So first off, we're going to talk about tattoos.
Tattoos.
Lindsay doesn't have any tattoos.
I don't.
How many do I have? 3? 4? 1, 2, 3? 3. I have 3. So if you were to get a tattoo in 2020, what would you get?
I know this is hard. This is a hard question. It would be something really ridiculous and
good.
small.
Okay.
Like a chicken. Or
I knew a guy. He would go to these tattoo shops that would put on like deals. You could get like a cheap tattoo for like, I don't know, $20 or $50. And sometimes they would be like a T-bone steak.
Oh my gosh.
A tiny little pirate ship or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's good. I like that. A chicken.
Or like one of those rubber chickens.
One of the rubber squeaky chickens?
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
That would be funny, right?
Yeah.
What about you, John?
Oh,
2020. A 2020 tattoo.
A 2020 tattoo. Well, see, that's the thing, is like you can say all the funny stuff and see, okay, so I got all my tattoos before I became a believer, before I learned to love Jesus. So, and partly what changed for me is I couldn't figure out what to get after that. It's like, how do you sum up Jesus in a tattoo, right? That was my whole thought process. And then what happens is you start to grow up and your priorities change.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't want to spend a couple of dollars on a tattoo. I want to get something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Some people, it was a priority for them. But so if I was to get a tattoo in 2020, what the heck would I get? My mind goes to like a giant pirate ship on my back.
That'd be so weird.
That's so funny when you see that. Like, I don't remember who it was, but I remember we were somewhere going to a pool or something with some people, or maybe the ocean or the beach. This guy takes his tattoo or his shirt off, and he's got a giant picture of Yoda tattooed on his back.
Oh my gosh, that's the best.
Yeah, but
What?
it's so funny to see this stuff that people have.
Yeah.
You know, like my buddy got T-bone steaks and crushed
That's-
cans tattooed on his body.
That is so funny.
Bunch of random stuff.
Yeah. I would like a tattoo. Like a tattoo is appealing to me,
Mm.
but just the thought of having something permanent on my body that, you know, at one point, oh, now I don't like this. And
Well, and that's what I have come to learn or respect is they're just different chapters in your life.
Mm.
Because all my tattoos I got before I was 21, I think.
oh, okay.
So I got a fake ID to get my first tattoo, which is on my forearm, and
Yeah.
it's like faded and old. And you totally forget you even have it, and people still like, "Ooh, what's that?" Blah, blah, blah. They say a bunch of dumb stuff, but it just it's just funny. It's just a phase in your life, you know.
Yeah.
When I was 17, I was angry and pissed off at the world, so I got a tattoo, and then now it means nothing to me anymore. It's just a chapter in my life. So
Yeah.
No other tattoo, huh? You just get something random. You want
No.
to get like a flower or
No,
a
no,
dolphin.
no, no, thank you. I do. I don't know. I've seen some that I really like, but I feel like I would need to come up with my own.
Especially with now with kids, it's like, do I get a tattoo or do I put food on the plate?
Yep.
That's where we're at in life. So
Yeah, that's us right now.
that's what we got going on. Episode 5, people. This is John,
This is Lindsay.
and this is Confessions of Us.
Good night.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Confessions of Us Podcast. You may also send us any questions you have to confessionsofuspodcast@gmail.com. Check the description box below for all links to social media and places you can subscribe to the podcast.